Welcome back. It's Tune to Life. And for today, we're going to be talking about friendships. So we thought we'd go back to roots. So we talked about lots of things in the fall, and we thought we'd go back to our roots in terms of giving advice about, our human interactions, how we are as human beings, and what's fundamental to us: friendships. We go in and out of these things all the time,
Yeah.
into friendships, out of friendships, all the time.
Not even better, something better, right? Just straight from one next into the next bit, and then we just like
Yeah,
don't even
and
think
sometimes
about
we
it.
have friends that we have over a long period of time, but
Yeah.
we believe that the understanding of friendships have changed dramatically. Even in my lifetime, it's changed significantly.
Yeah.
I think for people who are sort of younger, or between I don't know, is from 8, 9, 10, going up until 30. I think friendships are completely
Really
different. Their
different.
understanding
Yeah.
is very, very different. And we're going to get into some of these things, unravel it, and hopefully offer some useful advice as well to maintain your friendships, help you understand what they're about and how you can be vulnerable in those situations and how your vulnerability can be exploited.
That's right.
So we'll look at that to, really just help you have a heads up on these things and help you explore some of the inner workings of your own mind and how you feel about yourself and so on, which will put you in a better position if you're going to with your current friends or make your friendships better, hopefully. Yeah. But so historical context to this is I was looking at friendships over the last 100 years. We've not been around that long, but the last 100 years. And there were some very interesting things in terms of mind research and looking at things as they are and how it's changed. Because before I go right way back, I mean, if you go back pre-social media, pre the internet,
different
it was
worlds.
different. And the difference is, for those of you that didn't have a life like that, you had to go out and meet your friends.
Yeah.
If you wanted to interact with your friends, you would have to go out and meet them, because not everybody, say going back 40 years ago or beyond, had a telephone.
That's right.
Yeah, much as a mobile phone. So you would have to write a letter. With it, men didn't really write much letters. Sometimes women may feel friends, but not often to the male friends. Oftentimes, not some they would do to a degree to relatives and so on. But you'd have to go out to meet your friends.
Yeah.
And when you met your friends, you would then have to say, "Oh, I'll catch up with you in 2 weeks' time at this place." Like you'd make an arrangement at that time.
Yeah.
And if you didn't make an arrangement at that time to meet, then one person or yourself would be thinking, it's funny, normally you'd make an arrangement to meet, or anyway, I'll catch up with him another time if I bump into him. So things were different. So you'd have to put more effort into making friends, into maintaining that friendship, meeting with them, doing activities, going around to their house, they come to your house, or going wherever,
going to the park,
whatever that is.
Yeah.
But you have to do an activity with them. So then when everybody started having telephones, things changed, because you could pick up the phone and speak to your friend, even speak for a while.
That's right,
on the phone, but then still make an arrangement to meet, because that was still the thing, to meet up. That's what the telephone would be used for, to meet up and so on. So again, the biggest difference is your smartphone and social media. Just look at how we connect as human beings. It's so much more immediate now.
It is just
But then that means that we have less time. Our time is pulled for different purposes. Working longer hours.
That's right.
Commitments in other areas of what we do. So there are a lot of things that are really pulling on that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but then there are all different types of friendships, and which we won't get in today. I mean, there's friendships relating to, which we're going to do a little bit of, which is quite interesting. Because there's always the age-old debate, and I hear this all the time. People talk about, can men and women be friends?
Okay,
and solely be friends. And that's an aspect we're going to get into.
I think it's interesting
in that respect. And my immediate answer is, as a rule of thumb, no.
Okay.
But there are always exceptions to
Yeah,
the rule.
definitely.
I think that's the
I would
key.
agree with that. I would
There's
agree with that.
always, there are always going to be some people
Yeah.
who will be able to carry it off, and there's some equality to it, there's
Yeah.
some equity to it, and they're going to be friends, and there's nothing more
Yeah,
than
that's it,
that.
yeah. And the intentions are
to the
right
degree.
too. Yeah.
And intentional. I think that can happen,
Yeah.
but I personally believe that's few and far between. Although some people probably jump up and say, "Oh no, 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 I'm friends." But look,
And I think you're right, Andrew. I think if we delve a bit deeper on some of those things,
yeah,
you start to see.
yeah, I think,
yeah.
and I just feel that when there's a man and a woman and they're friends, I think oftentimes more so from the man, there's maybe a slightly deeper affection that's not always shared or exposed to that other person. Yeah. And again, on the other side of it, where the vulnerability, it can be manipulated or exploited, is where maybe that woman knows that her friend, her male friend, likes her.
That's right. Yeah.
But she may not be sure how much of a like that is.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But then what she does is put him in the friend zone. Right? And that's where I think where some men can be exploited.
Yeah.
In that sense. Definitely. Because if the guy is not so confident with women. Yeah. Not so confident with women, and he has a female friend that is really quite, in his eyes, beautiful or nice or whatever it is, and he's friends. Now, he may not want to cross that line.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he respects her friendship, but he really likes her. And that I see happening quite a lot.
That's right.
Where he won't want to take it any further or try to or show how he really feels, but he really likes her or whatever. So much so, if she meets a guy, he'll say, well, he give him the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And maybe he's good at, I don't know, fixing things, a DIY guy. Maybe he's good with money and helps her, gives her advice on this. But whatever it is, he serves a purpose in her eyes.
Definitely,
Yeah? Or someone she can talk to, maybe get a male perspective from, or whatever. So she keeps him in the friend zone. Now, he's hoping that she will see his worth.
That's right.
And that she may come to him and say, oh, I really like you, and he'll jump at the opportunity.
That's right.
But he doesn't want the rejection because he's frightened of losing the friendship.
That's right.
Sometimes, to be fair, the woman may not want to lose a friendship, but then it has value because he can do something.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile. But I always wonder about these male-female friendships. And I think also there's an issue as well. Because if a guy meets a girl and she says, oh, I've got quite a few male friends. Now, most men, and this is where it gets a little bit
tricky.
I mean, maybe nowadays, but men of a certain generation will be like wondering what's the nature of that friendship.
Yes.
And yeah, people can have friends all alike, all that sort of stuff, yada, yada, yada. You know, of course they can. But we're talking about a relationship here. When a guy's with a girl, is a relationship, and he wants to know that he's the only action star in that relationship.
That's right.
That's his concern or interest. Particularly if he's just met her. Yeah? Because he wants to know or try and establish the nature of those friendships.
That's
Because we all know there are, you know, what's it called again? Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits.
Yeah. So he wants to clear that up and make sure that they are just friends.
Without the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. So he wants to understand what the nature of that is. I mean, all men are. If men are honest,
of course.
They'll want to know.
Of course you want to know.
They're only action stars on their show. Yeah, not on his watch. So anyway, so that's where sometimes it can be difficult. Now, let's say this is another thing that affects friendships in that sense. She meets a guy,
Yeah.
and the guy may not be great at DIY. Maybe it's an ordinary guy, nice guy. She's met him, and she's with him.
Yeah.
But then there's Bill. Bill's a good friend. He fixes stuff and does this and does that. And now and again, they go out to dinner and whatever it is. Now then they go and watch a movie or this, or whatever it is. And Bill's a handyman.
Okay.
Now, her new partner she just met is thinking, well, Bill's like, he's in there.
That's right. Yep.
Right? But then she's got Dave. Now, Dave is in investment banking maybe or whatever. And he knows all about money and investing, whatever it is. So now this new guy's thinking, well,
where do I fit in the picture?
Where do I fit in? Because of his nature of how he sees men need to feel that they have some use, value in a relationship.
Yeah.
If they don't feel they have any value in a relationship,
it makes no sense.
For a lot of guys, particularly a certain generation.
Yeah.
And that in itself can create problems.
That's right.
If I believe the woman doesn't know how to modify her friendships when she meets somebody, because she has to now, I think, back off the friends to place the relationship on a higher pedestal, on a higher ground.
That's right.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
but then people may disagree. But I think if you don't, it's going to create problems.
That's it. Can be conflict, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's going to create problems. Now, oftentimes you find that one of these guys, one of them will really like her and she'll know, or maybe have dated him for a little bit and it didn't quite work out and he went back into the friend zone. Now that's a problem because she may not tell you.
Yeah.
That's a problem when the guys are just dating her and trying to find out what's going on here, whatever. Because I tell you what, going back many years ago, I met somebody in that situation. And no relationship started.
Okay.
I just met somebody, chatted. And I decided not to pursue it.
Okay.
Because I could see that the lines between friendship and a relationship was so fuzzy, so thin.
Yeah.
I thought, no, you keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. I'm not getting involved in this. Yeah. Because I could see that her male friend felt a little bit uncomfortable and so on. And then they were good friends.
Oh, well, okay.
I thought, well, no, leave that where that is. And I think as an individual, as a guy, if that happens to you, you've got to just walk away and leave it. Particularly we just met her. Yeah. Don't even get embroiled in that. Because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I think even for women as well, if you meet a guy and he's got lots of female friends and there seems to be some sort of skewed line there, run, walk away. You have not invested anything yet.
Yeah.
Walk away. If you think that you can get into competition, it's not going to work because it says something about the guy or the girl.
That's right, very much so.
It said something about where they are. Yes, you can say that maybe you're insecure or this and that. People always throw that around.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're insecurity, that's why it's not that. It's about understanding the nature of things.
Yeah.
And there's a big assumption that the integrity of the person you're speaking to is good. There's a huge assumption there.
Yeah, that is a huge assumption.
And that you are jealous or insecure.
That's right.
That's what it is. And you can't jump to say that conclusion, you're just insecure, when you're actually thinking, hold on, what's going on here? Maybe that person is manipulating something here. So it's best not to get involved.
It's funny, Andrew, because I remember a similar situation, to yourself in terms of kind of being placed in the friend zone. And it's funny, really, because...
No, I wasn't placed in the friend zone. I was saying that when you meet
somebody,
you just meet them, go on a couple of dates or whatever it is, you start chatting, whatever it is, and they say they have a lot of male friends. And then you meet the friends and they're a bit off or a bit funny, whatever it is, and then, then you think, oh, this isn't going to work out.
Mm.
But take care. Lovely
Nice to
meeting
meet
you.
you.
Bam, you go.
No, you, well, you, that's a very good,
Yeah, that's what I'm
good,
saying.
yeah.
It's doing that is
That's
important.
No, I agree
Because
with
if
you.
you don't do that, you can lose yourself and get embroiled in something that you didn't set out to get involved in.
Yeah, and actually, so what I would say is that I've been on the other that side where actually you find yourself in a friendship situation, and actually you do like that person, you have affection for that person, and I think in that situation, I think we talked about this before, that down the line you find yourself almost on the reserve list,
Well,
waiting.
no, you're in a friend zone.
Yeah,
You're
well,
just in
yeah.
a friend zone. I mean, because the reality is this: sometimes with a lot of guys, they'll meet a girl whom initially they believe may be out their league, maybe out of their, when it's out their league, but they may put on a pedestal for either their
Well, it is,
looks
yeah,
or
for the
their
reasons, yeah.
physique or their intellect or something, or maybe all three. So he puts them on a pedestal thinking, this is a nice girl, this is
Yeah.
really good, this is a slow burner,
Yes, yeah.
and I'm going to spend some time to get to know her because I feel that this could be
Yeah.
the one. But he's got it all wrong.
Wrong, that's right. No, very much so.
So guys who get involved in that
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
they will take that slowly and whatever it is. And then the girl isn't looking, even from the outset,
Yeah, for that.
at
That's right.
him in that sense, because
right.
maybe she's got a lot of choice.
That's right, yeah.
And sees him, think, oh, you're handy, I could talk to you about things, or you can fix this for me, or you can do this for me, and just puts you immediately in the friend zone without you even understanding that's where you are.
That's right, yeah.
And that's where it can get complicated.
That's right.
And it can get difficult. And if you as a man don't understand your worth,
That's right.
you're stuck there hoping that one day,
They get that call.
yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of guys whom I've talked to and helping in these situations, they'll say, right, I really like this girl. I've known her for about a year or so. I'm not quite sure about when to actually pull the trigger to say this is how I feel, whatever it is. And lots of them say to him, look, she knows she knows you like her.
That's right.
She's put you there for a purpose. And when you say that you like her, she will say the friendship you have with her is more valuable to her.
That's right.
And that it may spoil it, or she's not sure.
That's right, yep.
Because she's placed you there.
Yeah.
She's looking elsewhere. Yeah? So you need to understand that you put yourself there.
That's right.
If she's interested in you, she will let you know.
No, that's right.
She will let you know.
And actually on that, I think that what happens is that if that individual, that female, is in an adverse situation, a very difficult situation,
they may be in a relationship or coming out of a relationship.
Then they may find themselves calling on that individual,
Yeah, as a friend. Telling them, because oftentimes guys can find themselves in a situation where a girl has just broken up with somebody.
Right, yep.
And then she's using his shoulder to cry on.
That's right, yeah.
And he's thinking, get better soon. Get better soon. Be well. Forget about him. Because he thinks, I'm here.
Because you don't see me.
Yeah. But
yeah,
the guy needs to understand she cannot see you.
That's right, yep.
She's not going to see you because our whole mindset, whole being is focused on the guy she was with or whatever.
That's right.
And he's hoping, and sometimes even for that healing process, you help her sort of get over it. You're in the friend zone.
That's right.
You'll never get into that zone because she never saw you in that way in the first place.
That's right. And I think and I think if something does, because it can happen at times, you find yourself in a situation and she's really vulnerable, and that happens where it moves to a place where you get intimate. That's a short-lived affair.
Short-lived.
Very much so. So there's no guarantee.
If that happens, because you're not there, then either potentially she could have an affair, or if she doesn't, she's got integrity. She'll probably say to you, it isn't working out, it doesn't feel right.
That's right.
Or whatever it is. And then you get really upset and it gets complicated. And then because you think somehow it can happen, you continue to stay in the friend zone. I mean, that does happen. And I always wonder why guys do that.
Yeah.
Because they've made, the reason why, I suppose, as I've told people, when somebody, whether male or female, because it can happen to women too, it makes an
But
investment
that's right.
of your time, your energy, your caring, your love, your consideration. Huge investment. It's hard to let go when that other person has not made that investment in you.
That's right. Yeah.
They may say to you, well, how was your day? What have you been up to? Or you're really smart, you can do that. And they give you give 100% and they give 20 or 30%. And you equate that 20, 30% to your same 100. And if it was the same, then you'd have fallen in love a long time ago and been in a relationship, bang. But it hasn't happened. And what men, and sometimes women, but more often men, more times men, don't recognize it's never going to happen. But moving wider now, wider into the friendships. Friendships, I think even there are lots of issues culturally as well. Well, let's look at culturally. Friendships where a woman from one culture, another one from another culture, a man from one culture, another man from another culture. That can sometimes be difficult due to cultural norms, traditions, values, understandings. That can be difficult to maintain because they may do something you think, well, hold on, that's not right. But then there's an imposition on your part because it's what he or she feels is right. So there has been a lot of understanding. There's been a huge amount of give and take, and a widening, and sometimes as well that some cultures are not as broad thinking, and see things
very narrowly in a kind
in a set way. And whereas some other people, let me give an example. To some extent. And I think to people in the diaspora, or black people in the diaspora, and I would say Caribbean people, as well, particularly, and there's a reason for that. And I think that we've had to adapt. Adapt hugely. With parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents, and beyond. I've always had to adapt. Because of slavery, because of different situations, coming from the Caribbean, coming to the UK, and adapting, and fitting into norms, that established norms. Having some culture, but that culture having to adapt
all the time,
constantly, all the time, and change. And part of being accepted into a culture is adapting to that culture. The culture doesn't necessarily adapt to you wholly. It's tolerant of you, not adapting to you. Let's get that straight. It tolerates you. You adapt to that thing. So although you may be one person maybe from St. Lucia, another person maybe from Jamaica, another person from St. Vincent, it doesn't matter in that respect. But each one of these people with slightly different cultural habits have to adapt to the UK culture, to how things are here. And the culture here is tolerant, or has to be tolerant to a degree of your differences, what you present. But I think in that adaptability for us, it makes us a little bit more open. And I think a bit more tolerant of other cultures. I think so.
I'd agree with that.
Because let me give an example. Growing up, we and it's a little thing, just a little thing, as black people as kids growing up. There's something called late night. We used to go and watch kung fu movies late at night, and it was kung fu, and they'd be dubbed, or you'd have to read. Now we're looking at a different culture, different habit, Chinese culture, Chinese history, Chinese heritage. And we would be into it to see the movies, the kung fu movies, but also the storyline. And the storylines will all be moralistic, or something around particular cultural ideas or traditions or whatever. We'd adapt that. We'd usually take it on board. And so we would do that,
Mm.
yeah, as part of our understanding. Sometimes it could be music. It could be, we're here, we've adapted, like we're eating fish and chips, like guinea pie
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
schools, football.
yeah, yeah.
It's not part of our culture.
Mm.
We've adapted to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that Caribbean people have adapted
to.
to.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm saying that is that when it comes to friendships, we're more open to other cultural
Cultures, yeah.
friendships, but not other cultural people aren't always open to us
Yeah.
for friendship on that deeper level. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I said not always as open.
And I think that kind of exposes a kind of vulnerability for us, I think, in some senses.
I don't know about that. Maybe, but I would say that it just shows how we are, because we've had to constantly adapt all the time.
Yeah, because I think,
and remember, there are things like. Let me give you an example. Like music, okay, whether it be any sort of music that we've bought, we back in the day created, British Lovers Rock. We created dub, this, that, all sorts of things that we created over here as Caribbean people, and drill, drum and bass, jungle. All this is coming from Anyway, as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but other people have loved it and joined in, and we have welcomed, embraced other people coming in to it without any question. Yeah, without any question. Yeah, without any question whatsoever. But are we as embraced on the other side?
And that's why I think there's vulnerability there. I think. And
where's the vulnerability? Explain.
I think, for example, so we talk about, okay, so in terms of friendships, that if, for example,
we're talking cultural, that's what we're talking about, cultural things about openness, because friendships are across different cultures.
Okay.
And I think that a reason why I picked out Caribbean, because adaptability. We've always had to be open to adapt to survive.
Okay.
If we didn't, we wouldn't survive. Yeah, we wouldn't. So again, in terms of friendships, we're always open to new ideas to a degree, more or less.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, for example, here, let's look at it simply. Somebody from a small village or a small town in the UK, why would they have to adapt? They don't have to. You, as, say, for example, a black male going to that, 30 or 40 years ago, when there wasn't as many people here, going to a small town, you would have to adapt to the environment and the situation place. Not them adapt to you. They would have to be tolerant of you if there were any differences to tolerate. Yeah? And so therefore, there is no need. You be open for the friendship.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need to. And if there was, how much adaptability are needed to understand your culture, really? Not unless they need to. But you would have to. So it's different. What I'm saying is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the power, is there power difference in that, do you think?
No, I think there can be, yes, in that sense. But I'm just talking about friendships generally across cultures. And I use it as an example.
Okay.
So I don't want to go into that.
No, okay.
But just as a difference.
Okay.
Another one, again, just to show you. Let's say you are a black Caribbean man, just something different, and you're friends with a Japanese man. How many black Caribbean men do you see good friends with a Japanese guy? Because they have a very fixed way of seeing things and doing things, and if you as a Caribbean man don't understand that, the chance that friendship is going to be limited, whereas you are more adaptable than that person would be. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
You're more adaptable, so you're more likely to understand his culture.
Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you do
yeah.
there? Oh, you eat
Taking
noodles.
yeah.
You know, maybe you might try rice and peas, but you're going to be more adaptable
Adaptable.
because of your heritage and where you're coming from.
More open-minded to
Yes,
to
than he
okay.
would be. So that it all depends on the nature of the person, where they are, and what they're doing.
Okay.
And not to say that he couldn't be if he could travel different places, because you would have to adapt. But I'm just saying there are some cultural differences that have to be brought in mind that can affect that friendship.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
culturally, I think we have to think about that. So when we leave to go to another country to make friends,
Yeah.
and this is something some people don't understand, particularly you hear in the news. Somebody will leave from here, go to another country.
That situation is a while back. Yeah.
Don't understand the nature of thought or thinking or manners or
yeah.
behaviors, traditions or whatever, you know, and do what they do here
take over there.
and over there,
That's right.
and then fall foul of the community there or people there, and don't make any friends because they have no understanding. They've never had to adapt. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, to that situation or to that experience.
Well, we had a situation with the boy the other day that went over there, wasn't it? With the I know it's slightly different, but the sex stuff and
well, we're not talking about that. That's completely different. That's bringing something completely different. But we're talking about going. Say, for example, may leave. For example, people would drink in every country, but there's a strong drinking culture here.
Yeah, that's right.
Just for example, so people may leave from here and go to Thailand, get drunk and conduct the same behaviors they would do here, and still get aware. But over there, it's really not tolerated. So therefore, that drinking culture, getting that sense, may not be accepted, and then you see, and then that's going to put you in a position where you're not going to make that many friends because of the way what you do. So you need to adapt your behavior, adapt your thinking, understand those things to create or foster a better environment to bring about friendship. That's what we're talking about. So and that is something that people need to think about. So you go to another country, you've got to be adaptable. If you're not used to adapting, you better learn. I think that's quite interesting on that level, in that respect, culturally.
Culturally.
But I think, again, it's going back to this. I think that friendships, say, men with men, women with women who are friends, right? That now is a whole new dimension. A whole new dimension. I think we need to get into that. Because let's look at men, right? As friends, right? Now, all friendships are complex, always have been. And I think it's even harder now. Because you've got, as I said before, people used to make more and more time, invest more of their personal time to meet each other, sit down, chat. Maybe if you went drinking, have a pint or eat food or do something together. Now, it's all online. People don't have time anymore. Busy, busy, busy. Few texts here. What you up to? Doing this? That? Yeah, that. Who you speaking to? I'm my friend. But do you know how he feels? What's going on in his mind? What's going on for him? No, don't know.
There's no invested time.
Because there's no invested time. Not invested time, but you're both friends because you have a purpose. And friendships do serve purposes. Yeah, at that time. So where it gets difficult, I think, is this. I think this is why I think there's potentially more depression now among young people, more anxiety now. Because I'll tell you why I believe a contributing factor to the quality of friendships. Now, back in the day, guys used to meet up. Football, if it's pub, or back in the day, going out to a club, nightclub, or just spending time together, chatting. And you were chatting about all sorts of things. Politics, girls, food, clothing, all the general things, anything. But you spend time. And because there's no social media, there's nothing to rush off and go and do. What was there to go and rush to do? You know, you may go to the cinema, watch a movie, but you go with your friends.
Yeah.
Never great, you know, you'd say things like, yeah, what you up to, Frankie? Yeah, I don't do nothing. You're home? Yeah, I'll come round. All right, you come round. You're sitting at home and you're chatting. So then he's going to maybe get a sandwich or do something. Yeah, make one. You're sitting there eating some food and you're chatting. Before you know, you got there at 6 o'clock. It's now 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I'm glad. That's 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You spent. You're not looking in your phones. You're not anything great on TV. You're just chatting about rubbish.
Yeah.
And that is the investment in time.
Yeah. And the rapport is there. It's not
The rapport is there.
That's it,
Yeah. Now, you might turn and say, oh, you know, I need to get my car from thing. I need something to put. All right, I'll help you push it. You go and then do it. So the time invested in there. Now, it's different. People running here, doing this, doing that, social media, blah, 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 blah. So what happens now, back in the day, biggest thing for men, potentially, relationships, right? So guy with a girl is broken up, right? Okay. Now, if he's with a number of friends, and a guy wouldn't just turn and say, me and Jane broke up. He wouldn't do that. He would go to his friend, his good friend within the group.
Yeah.
You know, go, me and not together anymore. And his good friend would say, what?
Yeah.
What happened? Well, X, Y, Z, or this, or that, or that, and that. And I think, oh man, I became so stupid if it's your fault. What do you do that for? Talk to her. I'll talk to her. So there's support.
There's support, and
Or sometimes if it was that she did something bad, there'd be a little bit of support. Man, you guys would talk a little bit and whatever. Now, the quality of that discussion isn't going to be anywhere near as deep or as good as how women would support each other.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
No, definitely.
Right? And men aren't great at really getting into their emotions. Well, they left me feeling vulnerable. We don't get into that. We're just thinking, oh, yeah. And the most that the guy would do is say, listen, man, I'll get a bag of chips. or something or another. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's, you know.
Or you're there and he's like, oh, what a goal! Oh my gosh! And the conversation just goes like a train wreck right to the other side.
Talking about something else. Oh man, do you see that car? Oh, that car's crazy.
Yeah.
Anything like, I'm not talking about a car. I'm talking about my
feelings. Yeah.
You go with it.
That's
And you think, listen, man, forget her, because that's how men operate.
No.
We can only go to certain levels when dealing with each other's difficulties or emotions, whatever it is.
But you know what?
You get skewed.
You know what though? I think that.
But it's there.
Yeah.
But what we try to do is try and provide some company. Right? That's what we try to do. We try and provide some company. Whether get your mind off it or do this or do that or whatever it is. We try and get some
in that kind of way.
Yeah. You see, and I think for friendships, that's great. Now, on the other side of that, if you're with a group of people, and as a man, and you got friends, and nobody, you say to you what you think is a good friend, oh look, you know, this happened, that happened, and your friend goes, oh well, don't worry about it, man, and moves on, then that may not be such a great friend if he doesn't want to hear you out.
That's right.
Even if he's not sure he should hear you out. And sometimes, again, with guys, we're so we can be just skin deep.
No, I hear that.
In our understanding of our friendships.
Yeah.
And then when adversity hits or difficult times, that's when we seem to know either none of the people you're with are your friends. Or either maybe there's only one person your friend, they didn't realize. Yeah. But I think with women, they're much better
definitely
at that.
Yeah. And I think, generally, I think women will,
Mm.
as I said, they're there at a drop of a hat. They will sort themselves out. They will make that call. Right, we're coming around to yours. We're gonna get takeaway, and we're gonna really, we're gonna be that comfort blanket for you.
Yeah. And they'll cook, they'll do this, they'll take them
Yeah, and
out,
consult.
and
Yeah,
they're there with them for as long as
as,
almost as long,
as
and they
long as
need
it
it
takes.
almost,
Yeah.
or whatever. And I think that's a good thing. But
Mm.
it's not always that simple, is it? It's not always that simple. And I think women and friendships are complex, really, really complex. And I can say what I've seen, and what I've understood, and what I've learned.
Mm.
What I've learned is that male friendships are complex in their own way, but not as complex and quite easy to work out. Right? Quite easy to work out. Right? Because if you understand certain things, you'll know that with your friends, that there's certain friends, you'll know who's going to be one to help you. Oh, Jim's the one that'll come and help me. But you're in with the crowd anyway. But you know who you can call on.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will be rude awakening when you realize you can't call on anybody. But they're still your friends.
Yeah.
And you keep on. But hold on. If we diverse, but then with women, because you raised that point, I want to go back to that point. It's much more complex because as a man, all right, you would have heard this yourself. You will date a woman, all right, as she talks about her friends. And sometimes they will lay into their friends and say, oh, this, da, 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 da. And you think, I can't believe they done that to you or did this to you. And then a week later, we going, oh, we're all meeting up, going for dinner, we're all doing this. And you're thinking, but I thought you just said that complex.
Yeah.
In so much so that men don't always understand that. Or sometimes girls will have their groups together, and one of the girls in the group will, for example, I remember this situation. This girl, donkeys years ago that I knew, she had a group of friends. And one of the friends in particular would use her. Do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. Can you help with this? Can you help with that? And she'd always be helping. But then she would come to me and complain and say, oh, she's always them. And as men as we are, always trying to fix something. Always fixing. Always trying to give you advice.
Jim will fix it.
Yeah, exactly. We're always fixing something, aren't we? Why don't you do this? You shouldn't let her do this. Men always do that because we don't understand.
That's right.
The complexities of female friendships.
That's right. Yeah.
So then they keep doing it.
That's right, yeah.
And you think, then you get an argument. Why are you doing that for? Blah, 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 blah. And then they all go out. And the next minute, right, this girl is going on holiday with her. And you're thinking, because we as men don't understand the complexities of female friendships, where they will do things to each other, not like it, but still have that bond.
Yeah. And we don't operate in that way, do we? At
No.
all. I mean, we would.
Men are very more
different.
black and white.
Right, yeah. If someone's not serving our purpose, we just cut that off.
Yeah. I mean, look, if guys are together, or you've got a good mate, and he's never there to help you, say, "Can help me," you just basically move away.
That's right.
Because you think, well, I'm helping you. A lot of time, you're not even helping me. You're not even bothered about me. You don't talk anymore. You just leave it at that.
That's right.
Men are very much more obvious.
No, very much so.
But and then also like this as well. This is another thing, which happens. It does happen. Yes, there are situations where, which we talked about earlier on, where a group of guys can be friends, and one of the guys has a girlfriend, right? Now, one of your friends likes your girlfriend. I mean, really likes your girlfriend.
We've been there before.
Right? And you can tell.
Yeah.
All right? You can tell. And you're not quite sure how to deal with it. Should you confront him? That'll make you look weak because you can say, no, what's wrong? Should you trust him? No. And it brings up lots of different question marks because then you think, can I trust my girl?
Girl, that's right. That's right.
Because if my girlfriend is playing into that because she likes the attention
That's right.
and she knows the fact that your friend likes her, and she always says, say, let's pretend his name is Bill. How's Bill doing? And thinking, why does she keep asking for Bill all the time? All the time. And Bill's like a little puppy dog when he sees her. He's all over the place. What's going on? And that is something that will press your button and highlight your vulnerability.
That's right.
But I think in those situations, you need to understand something. I think as a man, you do something. If your girlfriend knows that your friend really likes her and she's paying a little bit more attention to him than your other friends, because she knows that, then she knows she's exploiting that vulnerability.
That's right.
And then you've got to have question marks. One about your friend,
Yeah.
because you shouldn't go there like that. And two about your girlfriend.
That's right.
Because she shouldn't be really exploiting that vulnerability. She should be, where are you in all of this?
Yeah, where's the boundaries?
No. Where are you in their considerations?
That's right.
Because you're his friend, you're her boyfriend.
That's right.
So where are you? If he's your friend, he's going to put you first and say, nah, she looks good, like her, but I'd never go there.
Yeah, that's right.
Never. And you go, oh, hi, whatever it is, that's it. And she'd think, well, you see what I mean? But oftentimes you see that happen.
No, it does happen.
That happens quite often. And the person in the middle are now trying to fight off psychologically the friend from his girlfriend, and then sort of saying to his girlfriend, like, why, making things difficult there, you see?
Yeah.
And that's not good. That's not healthy.
No, that's not good.
That's not healthy. That is not healthy. So I think people need to understand the nature of, is that a real friend?
That's right.
Or is she really your girlfriend or want to be? Can you trust her? Now, a lot of people might say, well, what's the big deal? If you like, say, as long as he doesn't cross the line, and you might think, what's the big deal? If she likes him too, as long as he doesn't cross the line. But my point is, there's a level of integrity involved in this. And people will see each other and like each other, whatever it is. But is it the people you trust?
That's right. In your inner network, as to speak.
Yeah. I don't think it's good.
No, I don't think it's good. It's funny actually, because there was some research that was done a little while back, and they were talking about the importance of having good friendships. And one of the things that they spoke about was about honesty, openness, trust. And also some of the things they talked about was trust, openness, and so kind of being able to kind of challenge your friends in a kind of in a constructive way without kind of what I mean, and being able to have those kind of conversations, those difficult conversations that sometimes were challenging. So those difficult conversations. So like, for example, like you mentioned a minute ago, in terms of, say, for example, your friend and your
Why would you need to have a conversation?
Well,
because I think through wisdom, if you need to have that conversation, then there's definitely a problem. And that's my advice I'd give. I think if you need to have a conversation, there's a problem. Is that person really your friend? If you need to sit down with your girlfriend and say, look, that's my friend, you shouldn't go there, or you shouldn't encourage him. If you're going to say that, there's a problem.
No, you're right, there is a problem.
Because then you have to address the issue of, how does she see you?
That's right.
What's the level of importance of your relationship with her or their relationship over the friend? That is to me, I wouldn't have that difficult conversation. I don't think it'd be worth it, because if you've got good self-esteem, then you think, well, if they get together, let them get together.
And those things happen.
And then you watch how things are, and if they're, you let them get on with it. Then you just say, listen, for me, what I would do, people may say, I don't think that's the right thing. But
Mm.
for me, I would do. I would just say, listen, you seem to have a
Yeah.
liking for my friend.
Yeah.
If I was going to say something, you seem to like her. Why don't both of you just get together?
Mm.
Oh, no. I said, well, no. There's some weird
Mm.
attraction here. You get on with it. But then I wouldn't have him as my friend anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's an element of trust.
Yeah.
And if he breaches that trust because he sees what he wants, and if that is what he wants is more valuable than the friendship, then let him have it, let him cross that line.
Yeah.
Or she sees what she wants in the relationship. You see what I mean?
And it's funny you say that, because I know there's been situations I think of where people you've had a friend, and you know, you've trusted them in your house, you know, with you know, with your partner, and
So
As a
let's make it clearer.
yeah.
So if you're your friend comes to visit you
Yeah.
in the house,
Yeah.
and
You're off to work.
you're off to work, or you got to go nip out
Yeah.
somewhere, or in actual fact, this is what really happens. Your friend's going to come round,
Yeah.
and you got held up,
Yeah.
and you really it's called you back. No. Anyway, you come round. So you're supposed to be back at 6 or 4 o'clock. So example, you're not back till 7. So he comes round. He's there with your girl.
That's right.
Now, technically, that should be fine. I wouldn't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
of course, that shouldn't be a problem at all.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't see what the problem is. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Because you'd have to be able to honestly trust your friend.
Of course, without a doubt.
To come to your house and trust you go.
Yeah, that's right.
But in a situation where you know he likes her and she likes him, how could you feel comfortable?
And so the situation I was talking about was actually that later on, when they both split up, so when the person split up with their partner, what come to light was that said same friend had given information to ensure that they were parting of ways. So he said, oh, you know, he was up to this, he was up to that, he was up to this.
Or was he?
That wasn't the case.
It wasn't the case.
It wasn't the case.
So he'd made up stuff. So
Yeah.
you clear about that again.
Yeah.
He made up some stuff because he wanted to break them up,
Yeah.
so he could get in there. And that's another issue.
That's what happens. That's right. Yeah.
But I think, so friendships are important. And I think there are people who, we all have friendships, they serve different purposes. So you can go to football and have a group of football friends. You can go here and they serve different purposes.
Yeah.
But then there's your inner circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your inner cabal, you know. And it's about who you let into that. I think it's very, very important that you have the right people around you, the closer people around you. And it's very important to make sure that you have that for your support. And sometimes you don't, because it's your perspective affects it, and your perception of what that person is.
Yes.
So I think if you have people around you in your inner circle, then you've got to be able to trust them. And that depends on where you set your expectations. See?
Yeah. And it's funny, you know, Andrew, that so you imagine, for example, you've got somebody and you've grown up with them for your formative years. And I think because you've had that history with them from we're talking about from primary growing up to them,
secondary school,
secondary school, and
adulthood,
and you're going into adulthood, and you've got that familiarity, you've known each other, that history there that's comes like a glue that sticks you and holds you together in some sense.
Can do.
Yeah, and so.
But there are other things that can take place with it as well.
Yeah, and so as a result, you kind of continue to you get older, and then you kind of start to see perhaps where things are changing and your path is kind of going on a different kind of trajectory.
But oftentimes, I mean, just to make that clear, that oftentimes people grow up together and life changes individuals, your political stance, because when you're young, you don't have a political view when you're 8 or 9, really. You don't have that political view. When you get older, you do, and then maybe at odds when you get to that point. Your view of life what is
The
right,
doors
what
were
is wrong,
drawn.
and whatever may be
Yeah,
at odds
change.
again.
Yeah.
But because you have the nostalgia growing up
Up
together,
together, you kind of
that's what
hold, and you hold on to that.
that's what keeps there.
Yeah. Yeah.
However,
Mm.
when you get older, there are other issues that come into the fold. Jealousy. And sometimes you could know somebody a long time,
Yeah.
a very long time, and they can be jealous
jealous.
of you, or maybe, you be jealous of them. But nostalgia or the historical value of what you had was then. So, and let me give an example. Sometimes girls or group together, or guys that are grouped together, and you find that there may be some guys, it really means something to them to have known each other from when they were young.
Mm.
And to them, that's the cement, really important. But then there are other people in that group that say, yeah, I've known him for whatever. But then have that jealousy or that disdain to you because you've done well, or you're doing well, or you're earning more money, or there's something about what you've done which which makes highlight something about their own lives and their own inadequacies, or shows or highlights their own vulnerability. And sometimes you can be blinded because you've known somebody a long time.
Yeah, so you got that.
You don't look at it like that. You can't see it that way.
Yeah, you got that history with them, so therefore you kind of almost, you want to turn a blind eye to that because obviously you want to see the.
No, I don't even think you turn any blind eye. You don't see it because the nostalgia, the historical relevance of their existence in your life, is so profound. It's so strong. You can't see that. Yeah, and some people on the outside looking inside can see
that. That's right.
And that in itself can provide a problem. But I think that there are so many different things. But I think it's about expectations.
Yeah.
Some people don't have a lot of friends, but would like to have more. And they need to look at themselves as to why that is. And maybe it's because they themselves have high expectations and feel slighted if they believe their friend hasn't lived up to the expectation. And therefore they think, well, you know what? I'm going to invest in this. Because in friendships, what I see, they're never always equal. Never always equal. There's always going to be one friend that invests more than the other. Always going to be that way, to a degree, to varying degrees. Whether, excuse me, folks, whether that is women with female friends, or men and male friends, there's always going to be an investment. I never see that completely equal. And I think that sometimes it depends on expectation. And there are people that I see and understand and talk to that they may invest a lot in their friendships, but then expect the same back, and oftentimes don't get it. And as a result, they feel slighted, or they feel like they don't have any friends, or they can't have friends because that's their perspective and perception, which are two different things. Yeah. And some people have loads of friends, right? And say, yeah, I've got lots of friends, loads of friends. I've got Bill J, they reel off loads. But when you look, or someone looks at that and they want to sort of discern the quality of those friendships, they may say, well, they're not friends.
That's right.
Because you yourself have a higher expectations. But for him or for her, their expectations are different to yours. Right. So they think, well, no, they are my friends. Bob, Jane, Jim, Jack, whatever has let me down, no biggie. I've let them down. But it's not a big deal. You see? Yeah. So I think there are those things which is interesting. And I was looking at some recent research, and it says studies suggest that people have fewer close friends today compared to previous decades, partly due to busier lifestyles and relevance on online interactions. So people now have fewer close friends
Friends.
than used to be, for obvious reasons.
Mm.
Yeah. And then deep, meaningful relationships have declined.
Mm.
Loneliness has
Has
increased.
increased,
So it
yeah.
creates literally a social disconnection, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So with that,
Mm.
it shows why when we talked about the other day, loneliness increasing.
Yeah,
Why loneliness increasing?
yeah.
The world is changing
Mm.
dramatically. And just looking at this, I'll just drop this in here. No, we're not talking about it. So when AI really comes into its own and people start speaking to AI and they insert AI into robotics,
Yeah,
it's game over.
it's game over. Yeah,
It's game over. Because that robot will be there for you 24 hours a
24/7,
day,
that's
7
right.
days a week,
Mm.
will know you inside out and will cater for your
Your every
every need
need.
and concern, your worries, everything.
Mm.
And that will have a huge well, I can't say slight, it'll have a huge impact, I should say, sorry, on human interaction
Mm.
and human socialization.
And you wonder actually,
Wow.
you
That's quite,
no, it's massive.
massive, yeah.
You wonder actually, funny enough. I mean, obviously, in the Western world, obviously, we're going to be the ones that are probably going to be adapting those kind of or embracing those kind of robots into, you know.
Mm.
So in other countries that are probably, not as
Well, other countries recognize I think other places in the world recognize the potential problems with it, and they wouldn't be pushing
Western,
it
that's right,
in
as
that
quick.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas here in the
Mm.
West, things are changing at a rate of knots at the moment. That's what we notice.
Yeah,
Things are changing here rapidly.
yeah.
People's lifestyles, this going on, everything's changing so quickly that within a decade,
Yeah, we're gonna see different.
it'll
Yes,
be,
yeah.
within a decade, people that are, 25 now are going to be 35, obviously.
Yeah.
And therefore, everything's going to change. People at 20 are going to be 30. So from a younger adult into
Yeah.
an adult that's doing what they're doing and working. And so if technology progresses the way it is 10 years from now, it's crazy. You're going to see it's going to really have a serious knock-on effect. And there'll be less social interaction. And they'll look to AI as the solution. They look to AI as a solution to loneliness and the solution to connectivity with your feelings, your emotions, your wants and your desires. Yeah, so that's going to be, a worrying factor.
You know what? I think though in
Can you speak up?
no. I think in all of this, I think. I mean, I think there are huge concerns in terms of where things are going at the moment. But I think about in terms of where we are today, right now. I think one of the key things is about your awareness, about your ability to foster that awareness of your situation, of those friendship groups, individuals, and also understand how you feel about yourself. I think you mentioned earlier on about how busy life gets. And how we probably don't even have time for ourselves. You know what I mean? We're so busy on this hamster wheel.
So many thoughts going on in the head. It
Seriously.
drowns out any sense of self because you're thinking about this, thinking about that,
Seriously.
thinking about something. And it's like a waves crashing against rocks in terms of thoughts.
Seriously.
And like I said, I think you have a good point that self-awareness is so important. Understanding your own nature, what you are, who you are, your vulnerabilities, what you need to develop.
That's right.
And being at peace with yourself.
Yeah. And I think like understanding aspects of understanding yourself as much as you can, because I think we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always, where we were 5 years ago.
There's an
You know what I
evolution
mean?
going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean evolution is good.
Good. Well, that's true. But
We're evolving into something, but what exactly we're
reality,
evolving into is another matter.
but
But
it's
going back to what we're saying,
yeah,
for Luza, self-awareness is important, and that means, to break it down, is that it's really understanding your own vulnerabilities, how you feel about yourself, what's looking at the good bits of what you understand of yourself. And everybody has lots of good bits to themselves. What are they? Identifying those things, and also identifying the things that you feel you need. And then once you identify the things that you feel you need, then you've got to ask yourself a big question. Why do you need them? Why? Why is it so important? Because if you don't understand that, then that may lead you to being needy for friendships, and
yeah,
therefore place yourself in a vulnerable position
situation. That's
where you
right.
can be exploited or used or manipulated,
Right.
or put in the friend zone
That's right.
to meet other people's
needs.
needs.
Yeah.
So it's very important to look at that, gauge yourself, and so the advice is called, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
The advice that we want to give is that self-awareness we're looking at. Also, if you find yourself in a friend zone, whether woman or man, in a friend zone for somebody you like, it says something clearly that you need to state how you feel when you feel it. So if you meet, I think if a man meets a woman and he likes her and he wants to take things slow to get to know her, but then he's got to have the wherefore to say, listen, I like you and I really want something to develop. If she's unsure, not clear about how she feels about it, not sure, cut it loose, let it go. Cut it loose, let it go. Because it will not work. If my advice, maybe, people may agree with it or disagree with it, just fine. But I think that when people aren't sure, that's oftentimes a no. And often, if it's starting off on the wrong foot, if you meet a girl and you are developing a relationship, you think, well, let's take the next level, let's move on there. And she's like, I don't know. And that's the wrong way to start. Because you're always having then to prove your worth to that person. You always have to ensure that they are reassured they've made the right choice. And that's an imbalance. So if you're saying to a girl, well, she says to you, well, not quite sure. You think, well, look, leave it where it is. Let's leave it there. Goodbye. Because if she says, well, yeah, I want to, then she knows where she's at. She knows what she wants. And if both ideas meet and make sense, you can take that forward. Otherwise, you'll end up in a friend zone. You'll end up there in this vacuum. I don't think that's very good. So that's one thing to be important to understand. And I think, again, if you, as a person from a different culture or whatever culture you are, and you want to meet friends of different cultures, then it's important to understand the culture of the person you're making friends with. Understand what they do, how they speak, what it is that their interests are, what is good or bad in their culture, and being able to adapt. Tolerance and adaptability is so important. If you can't adapt to that, you're not have a friendship. If you can't be tolerant, you ain't gonna have a friendship on both sides. So that's very, very important as well, I believe. And again, that if you are, a girl and you like a guy, and men are quite simple in that sense. With a guy, with a friend, or whatever it is, and he doesn't want, he either wants you or he doesn't want you. And if he doesn't want you, and you're hoping that one day he will want you, he won't, because if he wanted you in the first place, he would have had you, been with you, said, yeah, that's it. So I think that people need to have self-esteem is in question.
Yeah, and I think also I think also I can say I think look at your groups, your friendships, and looking at what they provide for you. Do they offer you growth? Do they offer you an ability to be able to talk? Do they offer you the ability to be able to speak honestly and openly about
But
things?
remember,
Mm,
men are different to women.
men
That's
are,
an
yeah.
associated view that men are the same as women in their friendships. They're not.
No, I
They're
think yeah,
not. And with men, they
yeah,
don't. That doesn't.
I
That happens to a degree,
yeah.
but you must understand that that's not going to. You know, when's the last time we sat down with a group of guys and I really feel like it doesn't work.
No. I hear you, but actually, you know what? What I would say to that,
But it's what it is.
no,
You're talking about
no,
practicality,
yeah,
where men are more practical. So therefore, it's like this. Let's say, as friends, someone says, "Oh look, you know what?" You say, "Oh, like, Andrew, listen, I got a real problem with this thing. I'm trying to sort out thing, and I know you're good at it. Can you give me a hand?" "Oh yeah, man, I'll do that. I'll come up and give you a hand." That's a friend,
yeah.
all right? Now,
You're going.
let's say you got a friend, and you say, "Oh, this is a problem, and emotionally, I'm feel
Yeah,
anxious about this." Da, 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 da. But your friend is a friend, but he's no good with
but
emotions. He
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
"Well, man, and then a pill for that. Take a tablet or something. I don't know. Eat some crisps or something. I don't know. Maybe But he can't deal with that, so you can't get that from him.
No, I hear that, but my point is just so that you can identify possibly. Because me personally, I've had situations where I feel challenged emotionally, and so I've sought out individuals that I felt that I could talk to, and obviously created that network
Well,
around me.
that's because you have a lot of friends. If you're able to do that, if you're able to identify friends, that's because you have a lot of friends. And there's an assumption that you're speaking now that other people have lots of friends to identify with, and some people don't. Because we already capitalize that because it's about expectations. And if some people have higher expectations of their friendships, they will have fewer friends and therefore find themselves in a situation that they don't have that met. That's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but I wouldn't say
There's no but. That's how it is.
yeah, I wouldn't have said I've got a big friendship group, but however,
No, but if you're saying that,
yeah.
you've just said that,
Yeah.
that you would identify friends. So
Yeah.
that's going to have a considerable friendship group than somebody who has a higher expectation and therefore have less friends. And they may have one or two, but even those friends may not meet the expectations in their psyche, and they may not feel they can do that with, but they're still friends. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
So there are people with different levels of perspective and perceptions that are going to be different for us from whatever it is. So I would say for some people that have that, yes, they can do that.
Yeah.
Some people that definitely have the friendship, they can pick out this 100%, but it's not
For
a
everybody,
universal
thing, yeah. Okay.
bit of advice. I think it's important that we differentiate that and make sure that that is understood. And I think for some people that don't have a lot of friends, they may be thinking, well, why don't I have a lot of friends? And I would love to have more friends. And it's more about, rather than the people not being there for you, it's more about you and the expectations that you have of people. And maybe you have very high expectations of what you feel they should be able to provide you. Not saying that you don't provide to them, you probably do. But it's maybe you have that, and that's part of your own experience. So again, it's a complex thing. I think again, it's difficult. It's a difficult one, but friendships are a very, very complex thing, and they. But it's happening now in terms of research that there are less people have less close friends. So, given that again, what you're saying, research suggests less people are having those closer bonds, relationships, and becoming more lonely. Hence the idea of the AI coming in.
Yes, yeah.
But anyway, I hope you guys found something useful. We deliberated lots of things there. Hope you connect with some of them. And I hope you can take advice on those things. I hope it's been helpful. But please like, share, and subscribe. And then we'll catch up with you next week. So take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.